What's up, guys? So I'm going to take you guys through my secondary push workout. I am 7 weeks out right now. So I have basically two main push days that I do. This is going to be my lighter one, besides my primary one. So I have a little bit of higher reps, and a little bit lower intensity, a little bit more of self-limiting variations, basically a close grip bench press instead of a just normal competition bench press for down sets and whatnot, just to help manage fatigue, drive more hypertrophy, and then just some hypertrophy accessories, since I am still, enough time out from my meet where it still makes sense to keep the volumes high. Accessories, provide I can still recover from them. But yeah, I'm going to take you guys through that and show you guys what I do, and kind of give you guys a little bit of updates on how things have been going with my body weight, nutrition, how training is going, what my overall plans are for this year and goals, and kind of how my mindset leading into this meet, and what I want to do, and how a lot of things have changed mentally for me recently as I've been reflecting on the past year and things I've learned about myself. But yeah, anyways, I'll show you guys what I'm doing when I get to the gym. Right, guys, so I wanted to give you an update on how prep is going. I know I haven't given you an update in a couple of weeks. Currently, I have now transitioned out of my hypertrophy phase of training into my strength phase. So what that looks like is, instead of doing 6s and 8s, which is what I was primarily doing on squat, bench, and deadlift, I am now transitioning into doing 4s, 5s, and 6s. For my strength phase, and then going into my peak, I'll be doing linearly progressing from triples and then doubles and singles. I'm also using all my primary squat, bench, and deadlift days on a submaximal single, progressing linearly throughout the weeks. So starting week 1, RPE 7, week 2, RPE 7.5, week 3, RPE 8s, and week 4, RPE 8.5. And the whole reason why I'm doing that is, one, just for skill practice of doing the 1 rep max of doing singles, since that's a sport of powerlifting, to improve confidence under the barbell, and get my neuromuscular efficiency back up, since I took a lot of time away from doing that. And so right now I'm much better at doing 5+ reps, because of a few factors. One, that's why I was just training mostly this past year. 2, I've literally basically been under eating all of 2020, and I just barely moved to maintenance calories. This is not something I would recommend. I've been in a very small deficit, and so what happens is, the longer that you are in a deficit, the more that you're going to have some muscular adaptations towards slow twitch muscle fiber characteristics instead of fast twitch, and so you're going to be better at moving lighter loads and less good at expressing maximal forces, since the phosphagen system in your muscles, less muscle glycogen stores, basically less fuel to fuel those pathways that contribute to maximal force production, and whatnot. So right now, I took the past week to actually move to maintenance calories. I'm working with somebody to help guide my nutrition, since I kind of suck at making choices for myself with that. So right now, I took 1 week to see, at maintenance calories for my body weight to stabilize. I'm 175 pounds right now, pretty fucking lean. So it's kind of cool. I know that I can maintain this when the time comes to maintain, but I need to get bigger. I need to fill out my weight class and get bigger. So my nutrition coach, holy crap, is going to be helping me out with making these changes. So he's instructing me to add in 100 calories above maintenance, so a very, very small surplus, and then hopefully that'll help me gain some more muscle, and stay pretty lean. I'm not super concerned about that. I have pretty good genetics for nutrient partitioning. Most of the weight that I gain goes to muscle, regardless, and then cutting is not hard for me at all, and I don't have a hard time staying lean. So that's basically where I'm at right now. And then in terms of, I guess, what my expectations are going into this meet, Honestly, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm just trying to not take this too seriously. I kind of realized I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to perform and be better than I was at my last meet, and obviously that is the goal. But there are a lot of things I didn't do last year that I should have done to help improve my performance and get in a better spot for this prep. And I'm kind of just rebuilding back a lot of my strength right now, is what it feels like. I am stronger, but I could be a lot stronger. So I guess this is just helping me get back in the groove of powerlifting. I love competing. I want to do my best, and I'm pretty sure I'll be able to set some PRs. Now that my nutrition's more on point, I'm being a little bit more consistent with that. And things are going well. I feel like I'm accumulating some training momentum. I've learned a lot about myself, and I'm just trying to have fun again with lifting and not feel like I'm having to do this just because I have to. It's part of my identity. If I'm not, lifting or forcing these PRs and these numbers, that's just not how this works. I want to just start loving training again, and start to just love powerlifting again. And so basically, I'm planning on having this meet be a preparatory meet for a meet I'll be doing later on in the year, where hopefully I'll be able to set some really massive PRs. But we'll have to see how this meet goes. I'm just going to do my best. Really change my training intent and focus to, just staying in the pocket, being more of a mature lifter instead of feeling like I have to show off for Instagram or whatever. When ultimately I do this for myself because I love it and I love training. I love how it makes me feel. And so I think this is a good lesson for everybody who's listening is, if you ever do get in the spot where you feel like you're doing something because of fear or not because you love it, then maybe you should reevaluate things and make sure that you're actually doing things for yourself, because that's a great way to burn out. Like I was experiencing lots of a burnout, and it's just because I wasn't enjoying my training anymore. I felt like I was just stuck and I was just not lifting for myself. And so I'm coming back to my roots now. I'm starting to really like training. I'm feeling so much better now that I'm not in a deficit. And hopefully with this small surplus going up, I'll be able to slowly eke up my body weights, gain some muscle, and really just get stronger. And I have some really massive goals, and I'm just going to do my best going into this meet and just enjoy training. And that's basically the plan. But things are going well. I feel strong. I'm confident with what I'm doing. I know where I'm going, and I'm trusting my process. So keep following along. I don't know what's going to happen. We're still, there's still time to get stronger, and I'm excited to see what I can do on the platform. So that was my training session. Nothing too crazy. Right now, it's kind of just about staying in the pocket, so to speak, and making sure that in this secondary day, I stick to the RPE, the program weights, even if I feel like I can push a little bit harder. Because this is my secondary day, it's not my heaviest day, not my main overloading day. It definitely still is more intensity than what I would do on a secondary for squat or deadlift, just because bench I can handle more intensity on, tend to benefit a little bit more from it. But using only 2 heavier sets, and then having a self-limiting variation with the full script bench press as a down set, and using slightly higher reps in the secondary day reduces the actual overall fatigue, just because if you're doing lower reps, you're going to have more fatigue per set. And then, obviously heavier loads because of that, permissive because of lower weights, rep ranges. So, pretty good session. I felt a little bit sore coming into it. Elbows hurt a little bit. Usually my secondary day, I feel a little bit sore and beat up from the first session. Also, I overshot my top single. I'll put that up on the screen right now. Earlier on in the week, just because it was just an emotional day. I heard some really sad family news, and I felt like I had to move something heavy, and so I did that, and I'm paying for it. But I wanted to just talk really fast and about something that I've kind of realized in terms of programming and intensity, and something I'm going to change going forward. Usually at the end of my training cycles, I try to push an RPE 10 PR. And while that might be fine, and it's kind of cool for Instagram and whatnot, I found that just needlessly fatigues me. And on my deload weeks, like, I feel terrible. I usually feel some excess fatigue even going into my deload week. You know, I don't feel as good. And I don't feel like the stimulus to fatigue ratio is worth it to me. I don't think that it's worth it. And so I guess essentially going forward, a lot of my PRs and training footage I will be posting on Instagram and on here, and I'm kind of saying this for accountability reasons, is going to be more ability PRs of me staying in the pocket. So typically, you know, staying within 6 to 8 RPE, except for for last week where I will go RPE 9 and to basically just save up all my coins in that RPE 10 work for actual meet day when RPE 10 actually matters. Just because, you know, there's a difference between training and showing off, and it's something that we all struggle with. I struggle with a lot, but as becoming more of a mature lifter and just realizing like what my body's really capable of, and now I've gotten stronger, I have to be more methodical with my approach. I think that me managing my intensity, and instead of trying to force adaptations and PRs, letting the adaptations take place and whatnot, and programming a little bit smarter to help me psychologically adhere to that through alternating rep schemes bi-weekly. Because I can't progress linearly week to week anymore. I'm not a beginner, so alternating, you know, rep ranges slightly. It's like a 4 reps versus 5 reps really isn't that much different. But it helps me stay in the pocket and make sure that I am sticking to the RPEs, and I don't get bored. It's something different. So that's something to consider for you guys with your training. This is something that I'm starting to implement a little bit more with my clients. Depending on their advancement levels. Like if you can progress linearly week to week, like add 5 pounds, 10 pounds per week to the same rep range and go up like half an RPE or something like that in like a strength phase, like then do that. Something else I'm going to do is on my primary days going forward is always keep in a sub-maximal single, you know, between RPE 6 and 7. You know, even in hypertrophy blocks and in strength blocks, to actually progress that top single by half an RPE week to week, and then peaking, you know, push it a little bit more, because that's more the purpose of it. Just because I feel like since my last meet, I spent too much time away from heavy singles and stuff like that, and so I'm regaining a lot of my fitness and neural characteristics I developed during that time. So I think the main point here is like, it's okay. Like, I'm always learning about myself and programming and what works best for me. And it's only because I'm tracking data and being logical and objective with myself am I able to come to these conclusions. So that's why it's really important to be honest with yourself and actually say like, what is necessary to reach my goals? How can my programming be modified to help me adhere to the plan and achieve better results? And then really being honest with yourself about, am I just training for ego purposes and for therapy? Or am I training for the best results? If the answer is the latter, you want the best results, then you need to do what you must instead of what you want all the time. And that means being humble and keeping within the pocket, as Joey Fox would say, and sticking to your RPEs and not going above it, even if you want to, because that's just not how gains happen. You train with proper volumes and intensities in a logical and methodical way. You recover, you fuel your body properly, you wait for the adaptation to take place, and then because progressive overload is adaptation, not something that you can force, it happens, then you can then present an overload in a planned manner. So that's my rant. Hope you guys liked it. Bye. And also, just because I get asked this a lot, like what do I have post-training? I'm the type of person where I don't really get hungry after training. Training actually blunts my appetite and combine that with the caffeine. In fact, I have a decent amount of food, but beforehand, I don't really eat that much. So what I do have is because I do want to get the recovery process going as fast as I possibly can. I usually have a scoop of protein. So I have this one today, Staunch Nation, chocolate peanut butter cup, 1 gram of fat, 4 grams of protein, 25 grams of 4 grams of carbs and 25 grams of protein. So I'll have a scoop of that. Probably put in like with a cup of milk because I need extra calories. And milk is really great post-workout because it has lactose and carbs and fast digesting, so it'll help a little bit with refilling glycogen. But yeah, that's what I have post-workout. And then I'll usually wait a little bit longer to actually get a meal in, since I feel some momentum. I usually take this time to get work done. So yeah, that's what I'll have right now, post-workout. Yeah.